Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. For today's class, we are going to be working into the PNS, the parasympathetic nervous system, looking to revitalize your body and your mind. We'll kick off with a few rounds of moon salutation, Chandra Namaskar, as part of our dynamic warm-up. If you've never done this sequence before, relax into the movement. Don't sweat the poses. Just enjoy the movement, making your body soft and fluid, and just play where you can. Then we'll come to a short primary sequence where we'll hold the poses a little bit longer, work a little bit deeper before we take it to a stretch sequence and end with some guided relaxation. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify where you need to, use props where appropriate, and feel comfortable to take a chill out time in child pose should you need it. You ready to play? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for Chandra Namaskar standing towards the top end of the mat with enough room to step back behind you. Come into a comfortable samasthiti with your feet stacking in parallel underneath your hips. Tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in, and float your hands together with your pinkies touching and your palms looking up to the ceiling as if you were holding a ball between the two, or rather in the palm of your hands. This will be the start and your end position for each successive round in Chandra Namaskar. Take a moment in your modified Anjali Mudra to just connect to your body and your mind. Then take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, float both hands into your lower back as you fill those lungs to capacity, taking a standing back bend. Exhale, fold forward, give me a big bend in the knees and roll down, palms up to the ceiling. Peel back up, bring the hands into your lower back, take that back bend, exhale and sigh as you fold forward. You're going to give me one more repetition, playing between the back bend and the soft forward fold. As you come down, take a big step back with your left leg, and then turn your feet to the right, knife edge in your back foot, and float your right hand overhead and behind you as you play with a modified side plank. Soma Chandrasana 1 and 2. Then you're going to pivot in the opposite direction and you're going to side squat lunge. If you're very tight through the groin, just play it about waist height. If you're looser through the groin, you can come lower to the ground and just dangle the arms down like little soft flowing seaweed. Then give me a lunge line on the left leg and ease your way into a plank line. Drop to the knees, relax the feet. Think of sliding your arms along the mat, piking your bum up to the ceiling, trying to connect your chin and your chest to the floor while keeping that belly button firmly pulled in so that you look like a little puppy or a cat taking a stretch. Drag it forward onto your belly, set up a soft cobra line, either staying here or taking a little wiggle and a shrug and a release into the shoulders. It's Friday, let go of that tension. From here, I'd like you to tuck your toes under, float your bum up to the ceiling, find a gentle down dog shape, but take the movement through your knees and your hips in blissful dog so that you look like a dog wagging its tail. Still your dog and kick up the left leg behind you, squaring up through the shoulders and the hips as you find a three-legged dog, and then gently change sides, kicking up the right leg behind you. Swing that right leg through, stepping up both legs and trying to stack underneath the hips as you fold forward, chest to knees, palms up. Peel up along the center line, float the hands into your lower back, take your back bend, and come back to your start position. That's the whole flow, nice and easy. Let's start going for flow. Big breath in, take a back bend. Exhale and fold forward. As you oscillate between the back bend and the forward fold, use your breath. Exhale as you come down, let go of that tension. Big inhale as you come into the back bend. On your next journey down, take a big step back with your right leg, turn your feet to the left, knife edging the back foot and firmly planting the front foot into the mat as you float your left hand overhead and behind you. Get into a steady rhythm of your own. Then pivot in the opposite direction, trying to come lower to the floor every time you come to this little side squat lunge, dangling those arms down to the floor and opening up beautifully through the hips, the pelvis, and the groin. Ease your way into a lunge line on the right and step back into a plank. Drop to the knees, relax your feet, slide the arms and the forearms along the mat, thinking of piking your bum up to the ceiling, connecting your chin and your chest, and then slide the way forward onto the belly, setting up a little cobra line. And then if you want to play, take a little shrug and a release into the shoulders. Tuck your toes under, find a soft down dog frame, move through the knees and the hips. And then still your down dog and kick up the right leg behind you in a three-legged dog. Do a little changeover, kicking up the left, and then swing through, trying to stack underneath the hips as best you can. Fold it forward, peel up along the center line, bring the hands into the lower back, and come back to your start position. Let's do one more round. Big breath in, take a back bend, exhale and fold forward. Play dynamically between the full standing Anahatasana, opening up your chest, and the really soft forward fold, Chandra Uttanasana. Step back with your left leg, turn your feet to the right, knife edge your back foot, and find your side plank flow. Soma Chandrasana 1 and 2. And then pivot, face in the opposite direction, and side squat lunge, Sahaya Ardha Malasana. Open up through the groin. Give me a lunge line on the right and ease your way into a plank, Kumbhakasana. Drop to the knees, relax the feet, and find a beautiful chest opening, a little Anahatasana, finding a little puppy. Drag it forward onto your belly, set up your cobra, or play in spontaneous cobra, Sahaya Bhujangasana. Tuck your toes under, float your bum up to the ceiling, find a soft down dog frame, move through the knees and the hips in blissful dog, Svananda. Still your dog and kick up into a three-legged dog on the left, Tripada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Give me a little changeover. Then swing that leg through, trying to stack underneath the hips as best you can as you roll it up, finding that gentle back bend before coming back to your start position. Last round, big breath in, take the back bend, exhale and let go as you come down. Enjoy the movement for what it is, make the body beautifully soft and fluid, almost as if you were moving through water. Take a big step back with your right leg, turn your feet to the left, set up your side plank, and get your flow going. Pivot, face in the opposite direction, drop that booty and really try and get as low to the floor. Find your inner ninja, take it low, low, low. Give me a lunge line on the right and ease your way into a plank line. Drop to the knees, relax the feet, set up your little puppy or cat stretch, trying to connect your chin and your chest to the floor. Drag it forward onto your belly, set up a gentle cobra line, or play, make it spontaneous. Shrug all that tension from your shoulders and your collarbones. Tuck your toes under, find a soft down dog frame, and take it through the knees and the hips. Still your dog, kick up the right leg behind you, squaring up through the shoulders and the hips, and then change sides, kicking up the left. Swing through, trying to stack underneath the hips as best you can. Fold it forward, peel up almost ragdoll style to find your way into your supported back bend. And then bring it back to your start position, taking a moment just to store your body. Allow the breathing to stabilize. Allow your blood pressure to just peel down an inch or two. And then find a beautiful mountain with the feet still stacking underneath your hips, arms long and lengthened at your side, dropping the shoulders away from your ears, and gently begin swaying your body weight back and forth between the balls and the heels of your feet. At first, keeping the feet firmly connected to the mat, and then start playing with the movement. Maybe bringing it all the way up on your toes, disconnecting your heels from the floor, stretching into the arches of your feet, and then connecting the heels and rocking the toes off. Play with the movement dynamically. Try to really get into those little tension spots in the feet. Stretch through those arches. You're going to give me 2 more, and then we'll play with a little roll down just to release the spine. Come back into your parallel line. Start with your chin line nice and parallel to the floor. Take a big breath in on an exhale. Peel down one vertebra at a time, giving me a hollowed out belly as if you were stretching over a big ball, and peel down as far as your range of motion allows. Root through the feet, zipper up on the inner thighs to restack and realign your body, coming back to your start position. Let's do that twice more. Take a big inhale to prepare and use the whole exhalation to bring yourself down. Hollow out through the belly. Pretend that you're stretching over a big ball and keep that same hollowed out frame as you come up. Inhale to prepare and use the whole exhalation to peel up. Keep your belly button fused to your spine as you play. One more to come down and we're going to play down the next one. So as you roll down on the next one, stop in an almost soft ragdoll fashion, bending through the knees, and gently sway or rock the body side to side, just keeping your movements soft and relaxed. Then give me a soft little forward fold, planting your hands or your palms into the mat and bending and extending through the back chain of the legs. If the floor is not accessible for you, maybe reach for a block. You use the block in any dimension, just giving yourself enough of a lean to be able to find that stretch up the back chain of your legs. If you don't have a block, you could always come up a little bit higher, maybe bracing on the tops of your thighs as you bend and extend. Then try to hold that soft little forward fold. Rock the body weight gently forward between the balls and the heels of your feet and try to come up in a tabletop line, giving me a long line through the arms, the neck, and the spine. Rock the weight forward onto the toes. Feel how that inner thigh connection changes, and then rock the weight back into your heels. Oscillate dynamically between the two. And then gently fold forward and step back into a down dog, or ease your way into child pose. Big toes together, knees open nice and wide, arms extended out in front if you need a little bit more of a timeout. Otherwise, use your down dog as you would child, using it for active recovery, trying to lengthen through the arms and the legs. Make sure that you're not loading through the wrist line, so softly draw up the energy through the fingertips, almost hollowing out through the hands and drawing the energy up through the arms, the forearms, and the chest, so that not all the weight is resting into the wrists. We're going to come into a warrior one line on the right, and we'll play it up. Soften the right knee and swing the right leg up, trying to step to the inside of the right hand. If that foot gets stuck on the mat, corral that sucker, step or wiggle it forward, lining up your knee over your ankle, and step up the back leg for me at a 45. As you come up, see if you can float the hands behind you, either keeping little aeroplane hands or bringing the two palms together and making a little fist behind your back, almost bringing it into a crescent lunge-like position and dropping that fist down between your bum cheeks as you gently wiggle the front foot forward. Keep that warrior one stance with the back leg at a slight 45 and keep trying to almost crack a walnut between your two shoulder blades as you expand laterally through the chest. Then take a big step to the front of the mat. Palms out in front of you, palms looking in, and come back into your soft little tabletop line, rocking the weight back and forth between the balls and the heels of your feet. And then try to find a midway point where you evenly balance between the two, and try to think of that long line through your spine, your neck, and your hands. Softly drop the hands to the floor, bend through the knees if you need to, and step your way back into the down dog, or find your way into child. Push into the arms and the legs. Every time you come to your down dog, try to drop those heels closer to the floor so that you can really feel that opening, that stretching happening along those tight little spots, especially behind the knee. We're going to find our warrior one on the left, Virabhadrasana 1. Soften the right knee, swing it through to the inside of the left hand, step up the back leg to 45, peel up along the center line, float the hands behind you, maybe interlace, making a little fist, wiggling your front foot forward, try to drop the pelvis a little bit lower to the floor, and check that you're not leaning into that lead leg. Even out your body weight distribution, firmly plant that back foot into the mat, feel your whole foot grounded on the back. Take a step to the front of the mat, floating your hands out in front, palms in, and fold forward into your little tabletop line. Extending through the fingertips, almost as if you were trying to pierce the wall in front of you, and try to even out that body weight distribution on the feet, or sway back and forth if the legs are still really tight. Soften through the knees and step back into your down dog, or ease your way into child. If you're in the down dog, really stretch the arms and the legs. Down dog is a great way to stretch all of the muscles in the body. Beautiful way to invert the blood flow. Nice little facelift, no Botox required. We're going to find our way into a warrior two line from here on the left. On the right, my bad. Soften the right knee, swing it through to the inside of the right hand and drop the back leg to 90. Windmill your body up and give me a soft T-frame through the arms. Check that you're not dropping that back arm. So maybe sneak a peek back and check that your arms are more or less in a parallel line. Think of piercing the walls at opposite ends of the room and keep your gaze steady over the front forefinger. Watch that you're not leaning into that lead leg. Try and have the weight coming down evenly through the pelvis towards the floor so that you can feel beautifully grounded. Virabhadrasana 2 is a great all-round strengthening and conditioning pose. Makes you really feel strong and fierce. Take a big step up to the front of your mat, turning your palms in and coming into your little tabletop line. Stretching along the back chain of the legs, evening out your body weight distribution if you can, and give me as much length from the tailbone to the nape of the neck as you can manage. Then soften through the knees as much as you need to step back into a down dog or ease your way into child. Each successive down dog, really try to connect those heels to the floor. Feel the stretch through the whole base of the foot, up the back chain of the legs, feeding into the glutes. Keep that belly button firmly pulled in and your bum piped up to the ceiling. Give me 2 or 3 more breaths here, and then we'll find our way into the warrior two line on the other side. Soften the left knee, swing it through to the inside of the left hand, drop the back leg to 90. As you come up, windmill or cartwheel those arms open, lengthen through the fingertips, pierce the wall at opposite ends of the room, and come down evenly through the pelvis, trying to open up and maybe drop a little bit lower to the floor as you find your second warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Strong, powerful, you are in control. Take a big step to the front of the mat, floating the hands out, palms facing into the center line, fold forward and find your little tabletop line. Lengthening through the spine, evening out your body weight distribution. Feel the connection between the inner thighs. Keep the belly button softly pulled in to center. No muffin tops hanging on the floor. Soften through the knees as much as you need to ease your way into down dog and take a time out, or find your way into child pose, balasana. Make sure that those hands are open, nice and wide, lots of space between the fingers. Make sure you're distributing the body weight into the whole trunk by drawing that energy up through the fingertips, the forearms, into the arms and the chest. From here, we're going to ease our way into a wide standing straddle, prasarita. Soften one of your hind legs. I'm going to play it to the right. You're going to change your orientation on the mat. You could mirror image me if you like. Softening that leg, swing it through between the hands and pivot on the mat, coming into a wide stance, floating your hands into aeroplane behind your back. See if you can make that little interlace, making a fist, and then drop the crown of your head down towards the floor, really inverting the blood supply. Take a quick sneak peek at your feet. Check that they're not flared out in a plie-like stance. I want more of a parallel line, and feel that your big toe, baby toe, and heel are firmly connected to the mat. So you're almost wrapping around from the big toe towards the baby toe along the outer quadrant of your foot and wrapping into the heel. If coming low to the floor and interlacing is not for you, maybe just float in table or drop the hands to the outside of your thighs and find a midway point that works for you. You could even reach for a block and maybe find a comfortable lean-in position into the block if coming low to the floor is not happening for you today. Play where you're comfortable. Give me a few more breaths here. Thinking, if you're in the interlace, really think of bringing those two shoulder blades as close together along the midline as you can manage, and expand laterally, opening up through your chest center. Unbind and ease your way to the front of the mat, stepping up the back leg and finding that little tabletop line once more, extending through the arms, really trying to stretch up the back chain of the legs and even out the body weight distribution. Rock if you need to. Keep that belly button firmly pulled in. Soften through the knees and ease your way into your last little down dog. Or find your way into child pose. Really try to get that beautiful stretch up the front and the back chain of the body. Keep the belly button firmly pulled in. And then from here, we'll find our way into a seated frame at the front of the mat. And there are a couple of ways to get there. You can think of hopping through, almost finding a relaxed down dog frame on your fingertips, bending the knees and shooting the legs through to sit at the front of the mat. If that's not happening for you, just find your down dog frame, maybe hopping up or stepping up one leg at a time, coming gently onto the haunches, and then easing one hand back, ease the other hand back, extend one leg, extend the other, and take a seat at the front of your mat. Lengthening through the spine and just dropping the hands softly to the top of your thighs as you find a modified staff, Dandasana. Then we're going to ease our way into Sukhasana, easy sit. Bend the left knee and tuck the heel in as close to the perineum as you can, stacking the right leg in front as you find a gentle, easy seat. Floating your hands palms down onto the tops of the knees. Wiggle around and check that your body weight distribution is equal on both bum bones. Take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, softly twist to the right. Taking opposite hand to knee and pushing that right knee away with your left hand as you float the right fingertips to the floor behind you. Try not to lean aggressively to the back, so rather give me soft connection through the fingertips, giving me a micro bend through the elbow and lengthening through the spine as much as you can while pushing that left knee or the right knee away with your left hand. Come back to center on a big inhale, and on an exhale, twist softly in the opposite direction. Opposite hand to knee. Think of that length through the spine and check that you're not leaning aggressively into one of your bum cheeks. So try to keep the bum bones equally weighted into the mat as you keep softly pushing and opening with that right hand to left knee. Come back to center and give me a soft little forward fold, maybe connecting your fingertips or your palms or your forearms to the mat as you fold forward, or maybe reaching for a block, using the block in any dimension and finding a comfortable stack through the forearms so that you can gently lean and fold forward. Play where you're comfortable. If you've managed to connect the forearms, softly push through the forearms and sink your hip line back, feeling that awesome stretch into the right leg. Keep your belly button softly pulled in. Then ease up along the center line and find your way into a soft butterfly line, floating the soles of your feet together. And we're going to play up the butterfly, maybe finding a wrap around your ankles, and then think boat. Tip the weight just off your tailbone, holding softly onto the ankles to allow the feet to float off the mat. So you're hovering like a little hovercraft off the mat. Try not to round out. So pull belly button to spine and lengthen through the back as you find your floating butterfly line. Give me as much length through the spine as you can comfortably manage. Then tuck into easy sit, leading with the left leg in front. Find Sukhasana. Check your body weight distribution equal. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, softly float to the left. Pushing opposite hand to knee. And don't worry about how low that knee comes to the floor. Remember, anatomically, we're all different. Maybe it feels like that knee wants to keep hugging your ears. Just do what you can and focus more on the opening through the groin necessarily than on how close that knee is to the floor. Bring it back to center and take your twist gently to the opposite side, lengthening through the spine, evening out your body weight distribution, and gently pushing the right knee away, trying to open up through the groin. Take a big breath in, come back to center and fold forward, finding the forward fold that works for you today. If you manage to connect to the floor, softly push through the forearms, sink your hips back as if somebody was standing behind you, gently pulling your hips back. Feel that awesome stretch into the left leg. Ease your way back up along the center line and find your way back into butterfly, Baddha Konasana. This time, taking your middle index finger and thumb like a little crab pincer and reaching to hook around the big toe on each foot. Then find that little floating butterfly by thinking boat, tip the weight off your tailbone, floating the feet off the mat, either hanging here, holding onto the big toe of each foot, or you can play with it. Let's see if you can extend one leg at a time. If holding onto the toe and extending is not an option for you, you can maybe give me a little bend on the right arm, find a little crook around your wrist and just wrap the foot over. Come back to center, try the other side, either keeping that bind on your foot or making that little crook and finding a resting spot that you can hang on to. Find your way gently back to center and come back into easy sit or tuck into a half lotus line by reaching for the right foot and trying to bring the right heel as close to the inside of the left hip bone as you can, resting the bridge of your foot on the top of your left thigh. If this feels really uncomfortable, maybe taking a block and wedging it underneath the leg line, the knee on the right if you need to. See what feels good for you. Square up, check that your bum bones are equally weighted. Take a big breath in and float or twist to the right, pushing opposite hand to knee as you come into the gentle twist. Check your body weight distribution on the bum bones and think length through the spine. Pretend that you're a marionette and somebody's gently tugging that string towards the ceiling, giving you a beautiful long and lengthened spine. Come back to the center and think same hand to knee. Keep pushing the right knee away as you come into the twist on the left. Keep trying to open up through the groin area on the right as you come into the twist. Keep long and lengthened through the spine as you come into the twist, giving the lower viscera a beautiful little rinse, getting rid of all the toxins from the lower viscera. Come back to the center and give me a soft forward fold, using the block if you need to. If you're nice and low as you come into the forward fold, you might be feeling a nice little massage with that right heel, gently digging in and massaging the colon on the left side of the body. Great for peristalsis. Gently peel up along the center line and find your way back into your butterfly line. Holding onto the toes, tip the weight off the tailbone and then see if you can open both legs simultaneously, coming into a V line. Try not to round out and hang behind your tailbone, so lengthen through the spine from the tailbone to the crown. If holding onto the toes is not an option, you can give me that bent knee alternative. You could use a strap here and hold on, if you've got two that you can use, and just loop around the foot on either side and come into your little V line here. So just play where you're comfortable. Ease your way back into easy sit or your half lotus line, leading with the left leg in front or the left leg on top if you are in a half lotus, Ardha Padmasana. Make sure that your bum bones are equally weighted, so catch a wiggle. Check your weight distribution on the mat. Take a big breath in. Think opposite hand to knee as you twist to the left, pushing with the right palm on the inside of the left knee. And just try to relax that left knee. Soften it to the floor as you come into your gentle twist. Think length through the torso and keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. So not leaning all of the body weight back like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Keep your building nice and tall. Peel back to center, think same hand to knee. Push the left knee away with the left hand as you gently twist to the right. Bum bones weighted, long and lengthened through the spine, belly button fused to your spine so that you've got a long, lean look through the trunk. Come back to center and find your little forward fold, using the block if you need to, and trying to find that little connection with the left heel, digging in and massaging the colon on the right. Give me a few more breaths here. Then we'll find that little floating V butterfly. Walk the weight back. Find your big toe lock on each foot as you float into your butterfly line. Tip the weight off your tailbone. Find your hanging or your floating butterfly and then try to open up through both legs simultaneously, or use the little bent knee option and hang in a boat-like fashion, strong through the belly so you zip it up on those inner thighs and you're pulling up really strongly from your pelvic floor towards your waistline, almost as if you were pulling the zip on a really tight pair of skinny jeans. From here, we're going to think easy sit, but we're going to change the leg line slightly and come into a double pigeon line, Agnisthambasana. Think of softening through the knees as if you wanted to come into easy sit, and focus on, let's do the right leg first. So just drop the right foot to the floor and try to line up the knee and the ankle more or less in a straight line, so you're mimicking the front edge of your mat. Then overlay the left leg on top of the right. So you're thinking ankle over knee, knee over ankle. Lean the body weight forward slightly. So your leg line mimics easy sit, except the shins are further away from you, almost trying to line up with the straight edge of your mat, and you've got more of a triangular shape between your thighs. For most people, this is a pretty uncomfortable pose unless you really open through the knees and the groin. Maybe your knee drops right to the floor, but for most of us, it feels as if that knee wants to keep hugging your ears. Just gently lean the body weight forward. Make the left knee heavy as if you wanted to drop it to the right foot. If you need more work, maybe softly bend through the forearms, giving me a soft fisted interlace, and push with your elbows on the knee and the foot respectively on the right to try and open up a little bit more through the groin. If you're really comfortable here, maybe folding forward and dropping your forearms to the mat. You're going to feel that stretch intensify. Just play where you're comfortable. Peel up gently along the center line, uncouple, find your floating butterfly line, opening up into V. Hold for a few breaths here, and then we'll morph into a little heron line. Bend the left leg, tuck it in towards your perineum. Keep holding onto the big toe and lean slightly further back than you usually would, aiming for the back edge of your mat as you take a gentle heron twist. Then come back to center, think opposite hand to foot, reaching for the outer quadrant of your pinky toe as you take the twist to the left. Parivrta Krachasana, little twisted heron. Then set up your Agnisthambasana, your double pigeon on the left. Focus on the left leg, line up the knee and the ankle, check that it's mimicking the front edge of your mat. Overlay the right foot on top of the left, thinking foot over knee, knee over foot, and gently push the mat away behind you, leaning forward and trying to get that right knee to relax down as close to your left foot as you can. If that feels like it's not enough, bend through the forearm, bend through the elbows, make your forearms heavy, and lean some weight into the foot and the knee on both sides. Keep the belly button firmly pulled in as you fold forward, maybe draping in a soft line, making your forearms heavy to the floor if you prefer. Then gently peeling up, Finding your big toe lock on either foot as you find your little floating butterfly to open up into that V position, dropping the weight off your tailbone and finding a boat-like position, opening up the legs into a soft V. And then let's find that heron line, allowing the right leg to bend and tuck in towards the perineum. Take a soft twist to the right, taking the fingertips slightly further back than you usually would, and maybe peeking over that right shoulder for the back edge of your mat. Keep your belly button firmly pulled in. Then twist in the opposite direction, opposite hand to feel you're reaching for the outer quadrant of your left foot, maybe the outside of your pinky toe, and taking that little twist to the left. Keep that belly button firmly pulled in as you play. Then gently unwrap and come back into staff pose. Sitting up nice and tall, you could even give me a soft Paschimottanasana here, a soft little forward fold if you like, reaching for the toes, or maybe using the block, placing the block between the two thighs, finding a little lean-in position. You could even use a strap around the 2 feet. So if you've got a strap at your disposal, maybe placing it around the feet and taking a little time out here. We're going to bring it into a supine hand to big toe. So if you know you cannot hold onto the big toe and hold the leg extended out in front of you, make sure that you've got maybe a strap that you've maybe looped, if you've got a secure D-ring that you can feed around the right foot and find a grip position on, or just loop around the right foot. Keep it on the right-hand side of the body. Gently peel up along the center line, sit up nice and tall in staff pose Dandasana, and give me one roll down to come onto the back, keeping that strap on the right side of your body at hand if you need it. Nod your chin to your chest, round out through the spine, and as soon as you feel your lower back connect to the mat, maybe gently tuck into a little ball frame, hugging the knees into the chest, and just gently cradle rock your lower back out for a second. Then drop the sole of the left foot to the floor. Take your middle index finger and thumb and give me a toe lock around the right big toe, extending and stretching through that leg. If making that connection is not happening for you, use your little loop if your D-ring is secure, and find a nice little holding spot with the right hand holding onto the strap, or just feed your hand towel or your strap around the foot, holding same hand to foot. Find the grip position that works for you. Holding firmly, T-shape your supportive hand and drop your left shoulder into the mat. Either staying here with that left leg bent, supporting your lower back with the foot firmly planted into the mat, or extend the left leg, softly bracing into the heel. Try to keep both shoulders heading into the mat, even though you're holding onto the big toe or the strap with your right arm. Still make both shoulder blades heavy into the mat. Try to really drop the toes to your nose and take the heel bone to the ceiling. Then open up into the B-line. Take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, float your head to the left as you allow the leg to open up to the right. Don't worry about how low that foot is coming to the floor. Rather focus for me on keeping your left shoulder firmly anchored into the mat and your left bum bone and bum cheek connected to the mat. If you find that you start rotating and coming up off the mat, that's your body telling you to stop, make your movement smaller. Come softly back to the center line and change hands. Maybe lifting your hips softly up off the mat and bumping them slightly to the right, so that as you bring that leg over the center line, you can overlay the right hip on top of the left, coming into a nice gentle twist. Try to keep your right shoulder as heavy and as anchored to the mat as you can manage. If fully extending the right leg is not for you, maybe let go of the strap or your toe and bend the knee rather, placing your fingertips on the outside of the knee and gently coaxing it over. Don't worry about how close the knee or the foot or the leg is to the floor on the left. Rather focus on just trying to keep your right shoulder anchored into the mat. Ease your way back to center, untucking the strap from your foot if you had it there, maybe gently cradle rocking for a few breaths to set up hand to big toe, Supta, Utthita Hasta, Padangusthasana on the other side. Finding your big toe lock or finding your strap wrap around the foot on the left. Anchor through your supportive shoulder, so the right arm long and heavy alongside you. Either keep your supportive leg bent or softly extend that right leg, bracing into the heel as if you were softly kicking into a wall. Have both of those hip bones looking straight up to the ceiling. Then keeping that hip line, so both hip bones still looking at the ceiling, drop open the foot to the left as you look to the right. Trying to keep your right shoulder and your right bum as anchored to the mat as you can manage. Play within your range of motion. Don't focus on trying to drop that foot to the floor on the left, rather focus on the anchor on the right. Maybe even gently pushing down on your hip bone on the right to remind yourself to have those hip bones looking straight up to the ceiling like little headlights. Come back to the center. Change hands, maybe bumping the hips up slightly, dropping them slightly to the left so that as you draw that leg over the center line, you can tuck the right hip underneath you and overlay the left hip on top of the right. Try to keep your left shoulder as anchored to the mat as you can manage. Use a modification, maybe bending the leg and reaching for the knee if fully extending is not happening for you today. Gently, gently peel your way back to center when you're ready, unbinding that strap from your foot, readjusting to center, maybe gently hugging the knees into the chest and cradle rocking your lower back out if you need a little time out. We're going to bring it into Shavasana, corpse pose from here, and we'll play with a little bit of guided relaxation. Drop the arms at your sides at 45, palms up. Allow the feet to softly connect to the mat and then extend one leg at a time, rotating the toes out to point to the corners of your mat so that your inner thighs are rotated up to the ceiling. Lift both shoulder blades off the mat and then settle the whole weight of your body into the mat, looking like a soft little starfish as you close your eyes and take your focus in. Keep your eyes closed for the next couple of minutes as we run through a little guided relaxation exercise, trying to visualize the scene that I'm going to set for you. Visualize yourself on a long hike. You've been hiking the whole day. You're tired, you're sweaty, and you are oh so hungry. Come across a beautiful little oasis of fruit trees around a pristine little mountain spring with water so clear that you can see all the way to its pebbly bottom. Shuck off your heavy backpack and make your way towards the fruit trees. See yourself reaching for a beautiful, big, plump, sun-ripened peach. Pluck off that fruit, and as you bite into that juicy, plump fruit, feeling your taste buds bursting with flavor, feel that beautiful sweet nectar of the fruit running down your chin and dribbling down your neck. Yum! Delicious fruit, just what you needed to revitalize and restore your energy. Once you've munched your way through that fruit, see yourself gently walking towards the edge of the rock pool. Shuck off your shoes, your socks, and your clothes, and gently find yourself wading into the beautiful, cool water. The temperature just tepid and cool enough to revitalize your sweaty, weary body. Visualize yourself wading to about shin height. Wriggle your toes in the water, relax your feet along the pebbly bottom, and feel soft and relaxed from the knee down. Wade in a little bit deeper until you come to about waist height. Feel everything from your pelvis down. Feel soft, relaxed, cooled, and released. Wade in a little bit deeper till you're about chest height in the water. Feel everything from your chest down soften, relax, and release. Then visualize yourself gripping on the pebbly bottom with your feet, bending softly through your knees and tipping your body weight back so that you're lying on the top of the water, body beautifully supported by the weight of the water as you float weightlessly like a little starfish on the top of the water. Feel the gentle lapping water beautifully supporting your body weight, giving you buoyancy. Feel the water gently lapping over your body. Feel the coolness bringing down your overheated body temperature. And feel the beautiful warm sunlight counteracting the coolness of the water. So you've got the beautiful soft sunlight, warm and gentle, and the cool water like yin and yang, beautifully tempering each other. Feel your body start to become and feel gently revitalized. The nourishment that you took in, the coolness of the water, and the soft sun, solar energy filling you up and restoring the life in your body like a drained battery, restored and brought back to life. Feel totally revitalized, body, mind, and soul. Start connecting to the sound of your breath. Don't try and control it. Just notice the gentle inhalations and exhalations, almost mimicking that beautiful buoyant water beneath you. With each successive inhale and exhale, feel softer, more relaxed, more at ease, more revitalized. Gently start bringing your focus back to the present. Become aware of your surroundings and where you are. Bring yourself back to the now. When you're ready, and in no particular rush at all, gently bend in the knees one at a time, maybe tucking into a little soft ball frame on the mat to brace your hands either on the knees or interlace around the shins as you gently cradle rock your body weight side to side. Keeping the eyes softly closed, float the right arm overhead. Use the left arm if you're pregnant and roll right onto the right side of your body. Roll left if you're pregnant and come to a soft fetal-like pose with the knees softly drawn in, using your bottom arm as a pillow. The eyes are still gently closed, either bracing your top hand into the mat or resting it gently on the top of your thighs. Stay here for a beautiful couple of seconds in Parsvagarpasana, a soft little fetal pose. And then when you're ready, open the eyes gently, but keep them soft and unfocused. Pushing up gently into a seated position of your choice, maybe easy sit, half or full lotus, whichever feels good for you today. Settle in, find the tuck that works for you, and float your hands into a gentle prayer in front of your heart. Just connecting to that beautiful hum of energy in your body. In yoga, we refer to it as prana, the life force within you. Almost visualize it traveling in a circular fashion, like a never-ending daisy chain of energy, feeding your body, revitalizing you for the remainder of the day. Namaste to you all. Thank you for coming out and playing with me today and for sharing your amazing energy. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's class. Shoot me your comments in the comments box below, and remember to subscribe to my channel with your notification bell on. I shall see you all for playtime on the mat on Monday. Until then, keep it light.